Great to have you with us tonight here on Arc Salt Lake. I'm Brian Schnee. It is Wednesday, April 16th. Tonight we're taking a deep dive into a welfare check that revealed 152 dogs living on one property, a mystery explosion also tonight, and a summer sales bro trying so hard for a sale it landed him in handcuffs. First, let's check in with the weather though with meteorologist Chase Thomason. Slide down in here for our first alert forecast and bringing some precip, really statewide weather maker almost.
Yeah, so all eyes on the cold front, but ahead of it we had a little bit of rain. Nothing too heavy, a few showers and thunderstorms, but things will definitely be on the soggy side as we head into tomorrow morning as that front pushes through the Wasatch Front. So moisture moving in ahead of it. It's out of the southwest. We got the cloud cover. You can see some of those isolated showers. Right now, though, the colder air is hanging up just to our north, but over the next 24 to 48 hours, it is going to be chilly. So hopefully you got outside and enjoyed the warm weather the past few days this week. Right now, most of the Wasatch Front is dry, but we've had a couple light showers, really sprinkles across the southern end of the Wasatch Front in southern Salt Lake and Utah County. Also some light rain now pushing into Heber and for the Wasatch back. Also a few showers near the I-70 corridor with a little bit of lightning at times, so some rumbles of thunder, but generally the I-15 corridor is pretty quiet this evening. Temperatures, though, still pretty nice in the 60s currently in northern and central Utah. St. George, you're at 80 degrees. Park City in southwestern Wyoming in the 50s. We're going to keep things in the 60s through this evening and for tonight under mostly cloudy skies. Notice after midnight, though, temperatures beginning to drop into the 50s. When does the widespread rain hit? Well, it hits the Salt Lake Valley right around 4 a.m. and there could be even a few thunderstorms that might wake you up early tomorrow morning with heavier rainfall for your morning commute. So coming up, I'll let you know how long the rain is going to last and if that rain could change to snow. That answer coming up in my full forecast in just a few more minutes.
Thank you, Chase. The community along Jefferson Avenue in Ogden left in disbelief after a police welfare check revealed 152 dogs living on one property. Yesterday afternoon, police and multiple animal services agencies shut down the street to get all those dogs out over to the Weber County Animal Shelter. A neighbor who lives on Jefferson Avenue, Angela Allen, came home to a large police presence on her street, assumed it was violent crime. She describes her reaction to the dozens of dogs being carried out of that home.
Shocking. And what were they doing with the dogs? Were they selling them? I don't know. How did anybody else not know about that with all the dogs barking? It's not a big house. It's like, how did the dogs go to the bathroom? You know, I don't know how they were able to actually do that.
Well, a lot of questions. Angela told us this morning she has never seen or smelled animals around that home, despite taking frequent walks in the area. She mentioned a few of the homes on her block are rental properties with a high turnover and residents tend to keep to themselves. Ogden Animal Services originally acted on a tip claiming there was animal neglect at a home in question. No indication of the scale or severity of the situation at that time, but another neighbor, Kelsey Bell, was surprised, but she's seen something like this actually play out before.
There were 6 police cars, multiple animal control vehicles that pulled up, and then I went to leave the house and talked to one of my neighbors, and she said that a couple years ago he had 100 dogs in his basement, and so she was pretty sure that that was happening again because she had walked past the house and it smelled really bad just on the way to the mailbox, and then they were putting white jumpsuits on, so I figured it had to be pretty bad. And then there was a horse trailer that was backed up into the driveway that they were loading something into. This happened a couple of years ago that they found out that he had over 100 dogs in his basement and the smell was so strong.
Kelsey told us she wants to know how the situation got so bad again, claiming a similar incident happened at the home in 2012, where 149 Chihuahuas were rescued from the residence. Kelsey believes Utah is experiencing a mental health crisis, and this could be an example of it. An important announcement from the responders saying in part, Weber County Animal Services is working with Ogden City Animal Control to provide safe accommodations for the animals in the hoarding investigation. The animals are currently at the Weber shelter in kennels in spare rooms, separate from other animals in our care to prevent the spread of possible diseases. We will inform our community when these animals will be available for adoption and/or fostering. Weber County Shelter says they're overwhelmed. They could use all the help and donations they can get. There's a wish list available on Amazon, or they're accepting drop-off donations on site. The biggest need right now, puppy pads Can you imagine? Cleaning supplies and dog food. Do your part. 3 people were inside before this building here, which is basically just blown out. This was a building on a sprawling rocket motor site, which became see-through in an instant. An explosion at Northrop Grumman in northern Utah has left us with lots of questions. Brian Lehi went to the site in search of some answers.
That was not good.
From the ground and from the air, this was not liftoff, but blowout.
It was like a minor earthquake where everything shook for a couple of seconds, and then it was a loud bang noise, and then it stopped quickly.
Angie Nelson, at home miles away in Thatcher, felt the blast and questions potential repercussions.
Noise-wise impact us or physically impact us, if there's any chemicals, that would be nice to know.
Another neighbor here thinks Northrop Grumman is safe, that it's invited the community to watch rocket tests and puts out notices when those tests happen. I texted a corporate spokesperson asking today what work was done inside the building, what chemicals were being used, is there an environmental risk after the blast? No responses yet.
We don't know what was in that building.
Mm-mm.
We don't know what work was done in there.
Right.
You'd like to know.
Yes, for sure.
Brian Lehi, 2 News.
Here are a few more details about Northrop Grumman according to their homepage. A Fortune 500 company, one of the largest defense contractors in the world. The global technology company works with national security, a key focus on space exploration, artificial intelligence, military electronics, and advanced manufacturing. The company is known for stealth technology such as the B-2 bomber. Heading over to Utah County now, where people in a Lehi neighborhood are raising concerns of a man acting as a door-to-door salesman. With summer right around the corner, you're bound to get a few knocks on your door with offers of pest control or even some solar panels, perhaps. Some neighbors called police after seeing one salesman on their doorbell camera trying to open their front door. Krista McPeak has the story.
When I saw him yesterday, he seemed very friendly.
Lehi mother Susannah Beaumont says she was walking when this salesman said hi to her in passing. Court documents state police spoke with the salesman telling him to stop as he did not have a permit. After receiving more complaints, Lehi police posted this video of him warning of his aggressive sales behavior. Court documents allege he tried opening the front doors of homes and walked into an open garage without permission. Neighbors I spoke with say he was looking in their windows after multiple knocks on their doors.
My toddlers love to answer the door, and so just knowing that somebody that might want to enter my house without waiting and that my kids could answer the door, it makes me a little concerned.
Over at the Lehi Police Department, I spoke with Lieutenant William Loveridge on the phone about how people can stay vigilant when answering the door.
They're looking through windows or trying the doors, definitely call the police department.
If you have a gut feeling something's off, call police, it sounds like.
Yeah, you can. If they're legitimate, there's no need to call the police, but if there's reason to believe that they're not legitimate, yes, please call the police department.
Something that Susannah says she will keep in mind after seeing the video.
But the fact that he didn't have a branded T-shirt or anything with him, I didn't even consider that. So seeing that from the police department's post, it was like, oh, that's something that I should probably be aware of.
Besides misdemeanors, the salesman was charged with utility theft. According to these documents here, the salesman had a Segway plugged into a church without permission. In Lehi, Krista McPeak, KUTV 2 News.
Tomorrow night on 2 News at 10, multiple flash floods impacting Grand County and the city of Moab over the last few years. But is the city and the county ready for the next one?
Yeah, it's not an if or when thing. It is going to happen again.
They've been cleaning up on the sites a little bit, getting debris out for potentially the next one. Like I said, the next one will come. There's no question about it.
Well, we spent some time in Grand County and specifically in downtown Moab, where Mill Creek still has a lot of work to be done. Crews were out there actually working on wildfire mitigation in that area when we were there, because the actual wetland area has spread out and dispersed so much, and neighbors adjacent to the creek actually had sandbags still around their properties stemming from what happened last year. So I investigated what the city and county have been working on to prevent damage from floodwaters rushing through Grand County and the city of Moab. It's tomorrow night on 2 News at 10. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, we may have lost Sundance, but does that not mean does not mean film is being showcased in Utah? Our Liv Kelleher in St. George will show us the Desertscape International Film Festival. All right, what's up, Southern Utah? St. George, a smaller film festival looking to fill the gap after the Sundance Film Festival announced its exit from Utah. Not yet, but soon. Liv Kelleher takes us to the historic Electric Theater, which is expecting around 1,000 filmmakers and fans over the next 4 days for the Desertscape International Film Festival.
Here in the heart of downtown St. George, Desertscape International Film Festival isn't just bringing entertainment to town. Now in its 7th year, it's drawing film fans and filmmakers from across the world ready to invest in Southern Utah's film economy.
Films that you're watching, that people come to watch here, have played places like Sundance and Toronto and Tribeca, even the Cannes Film Festival. They're going to experience things that may be up for the Oscars season next year.
Organizers say this not only brings film to the community, but brings filmmakers to St. George.
One of the things that we pride ourselves on Desertscape is when we bring people from outside the area to town, it's always our hope they'll come back here and shoot a project here. And we've seen that happen.
Adam Mast, president of the Film and Media Alliance of Southern Utah, says this could lead to economic growth for St. George and the Southern Utah film industry.
70% of the people we have coming, filmmakers, they're outside the area. They're coming, they're going to our restaurants, they're going to our hotels. So it adds up. It certainly adds up. And we want to see that continue to grow, of course.
And while Sundance leaving Utah may be bittersweet, festival leaders see opportunity in this major shakeup.
Hopefully this is going to open a doorway for them, certainly us, and lots of great festivals up north and other festivals down here too.
State leaders agree that the film community is evolving. In a statement, the Utah Film Commission said Utah's robust film industry has grown far beyond one event. We've cultivated a thriving ecosystem of talent, infrastructure, and incentives that will continue to attract filmmakers and productions to our beautiful state. Mast hopes that support is extended to small film festivals like theirs.
Let the governor know we're down here. we would love some help.
Tickets for Desertscape start at $10 with passes available for single screenings, full days, or the entire event, with the highest price ticket starting at $75. In St. George, with Kelleher, KUTV 2 News.
Sundance leaders say they need more venues to support the program's needs. Robert Redford, the founder of Sundance, supports the change of venue, saying Boulder, Colorado offers more room for the festival to continue to grow. 2026 will be the last festival season really held in Park City, and that festival is believed to be permanently moving to Boulder in 2027. Some people are holding up hope that it comes back. I will say Boulder's cool, by the way. Like, I don't know if have you been to Boulder?
I have not. My parents were married in Boulder.
Oh, it's a pretty cool place.
That's
like,
all I
I'm
know.
not going to knock on Boulder, but I think a lot of, there's both sides of the
driven
fence
by.
here. Yeah. Speaking of driving on by, what are we looking at here from outside of Park City?
Yeah, Bruce Norman was driving around Park City, and at first glance, you're like, oh my gosh, a tornado, right? Looks like a dust devil. To see that tornado, you need to see that condensation cloud go all the way up to the base of the cloud. Yeah, kind of cool. Some wild weather today with some of these spotty showers, kicking up a little bit of a spin up and some dust and dirt around with a little bit of rain. But things really get going when it comes to some wetting rain and some accumulating snowfall tomorrow and on Friday. Winter weather advisories are out for the mountains of central and southern Utah, so it's going to really accumulate where we need the moisture, and that is across the southern half of the state. But northern Utah will get some accumulating snowfall in the mountains, and even the Wasatch Front might see a few snowflakes Friday morning. How about that? But notice, just in time for Easter weekend, we'll clear out and temperatures will warm up. Still a little cool on Saturday in the 50s, but we'll be into the 60s on Easter Sunday. So good news for church services or those Easter egg hunts. Looks pretty nice. So here's the overall setup. We have this area of low pressure off the coast of California. It's kind of hanging out there. It's been pumping up a little bit of moisture into the desert southwest. That moisture is meeting up with a cold front that'll be marching in for tomorrow, north to south for your Thursday. Then the main part of the storm dives in on Friday and keeps things a little on the unsettled side, even though we probably won't see any widespread precipitation. And you'll see this on Future Track. Here we are after midnight. We'll likely see rain across far northern Utah, maybe even a few thunderstorms. And those thunderstorms might hit the Salt Lake Valley for your morning commute. So it could be a soggy one. Grab your umbrella. You'll need it. Reduce visibility. And if you're driving up Parleys and into southwestern Wyoming, there might be a little bit of snow tomorrow morning. A few showers could linger into the lunch hour, especially south of Salt Lake City, but things really get going for southern Utah Thursday evening with rain in Cedar City and St. George. Could even change to snow in some of those higher valleys. Scattered showers and storms across eastern Utah. Look at that snow across Wyoming along I-80. But here comes that low pushing in by early Friday morning, and we could have a few snow showers, especially south of Salt Lake City and into central Utah. Things will be tapering off by Friday evening. If you have any outdoor plans, it will be cold, but could be dry Friday night. And then the whole thing is out of here by Saturday morning. And Saturday morning, there's a chance we could hit freezing in some of our valleys. Now, how much rain? I'd say about 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. Some areas might get up to 3/4 of an inch of rain. Park City and southwestern Wyoming, especially towards Wyoming, you'll likely see some accumulation. Mountains, 4 to 10 inches. Some of those higher peaks in central Utah, though, might get over a foot of snow. And temperatures definitely cooler. Say goodbye to the 70s. We're talking highs in the 50s in northern Utah. Eventually, that colder air will be spilling down into southern Utah, with St. George only at 59 on Friday with an isolated shower. But look at the weekend in southern Utah. Nice. Sunday, we're at 77 degrees, and we're in the 80s for next week. Here in northern Utah, we're chilly for a few days with highs in the upper 40s and low 50s. But notice the weekend, sunny on Saturday, partly cloudy on Sunday, back into the 60s. It does look like a weak storm will clip us maybe Monday morning. There could be a couple of light showers, not a big weather maker at all. And then by the end of next week, those temperatures pretty comfortable, hovering near 70.
Final weekend for Alta and Deer Valley, is that right?
That is correct. And there could be some powder skiing. I
What's
mean, not a
not
ton of snow,
Something.
but for something on closing weekend, it should be pretty nice.
That extends the excitement of those turns on Saturday and Sunday after the warm-up as of late. So
that's right.
It's been really soft in the afternoons. Best skiing's probably been in the morning.
Yeah, I would say late morning has been kind of that ideal spot because when it gets too warm, it gets a little too slushy.
Yep.
But I was skiing Deer Valley over the weekend, and there's still, some decent snow to have fun and play in. So.
Cool. All right. It's that time of year where we're winding down at some of those resorts. Chase, thank you. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, the first one was a legal disaster. Round 2 not looking much better. The latest on Fire Festival 2. Utah students shaving their heads to raise money for childhood cancer research. Some photos from the Wasatch Academy. Students Frankie Owen, Karen and Phillip, along with faculty member Brian Zamarippa, volunteered to shave their heads for the St. Baldrick's Foundation. Students launched a fundraiser goal of $2,000, easily beat it, raising nearly $5,200. Pretty good. The St. Baldrick's Foundation funds life-saving research for children with cancer. Great job, everyone, and remember, it will grow back. I think they should keep it, though. Looks pretty good. Get more donations. Double that. Make it 10-4. Set to take place in Mexico between May 30th and June 2nd, according to an ABC News report. Ticket holders receive a message saying, in part, quote, "The event has been postponed and a new date will be announced. We issued you a refund." The event was meant to be a sequel to the original Fire Festival back in 2017. It was heavily promoted on social media by influencers and celebrities, but it was a dud, a complete disaster. Attendees paid thousands of dollars for tickets, but they found was really a mass disorganization, shoddy tents for lodging, now the infamous limp cheese sandwiches. They made a Netflix documentary about it too. Many of the musicians are expected to perform, like Blink-182 ended up backing out of the festival prior to its start. The founder, Billy McFarland, you see him on the Netflix doc, spent nearly 4 years in prison after he was convicted of defrauding investors out of more than $27 million. What would you do with $27 million? Turn the TV on. See you tomorrow night.